Hey y'all, it's Christina. So for a while, people have been asking me to do cooking content. And at first, I didn't do it because I didn't like my kitchen. Then I didn't do it because I didn't like my camera. And now I don't have either one of those excuses. So y'all come with me while I make some little fake gumbo. So this is the shrimp I like to use. It's the Private Selection Argentinian red shrimp. I like it because the pieces are large and it's not really that fishy tasting. This is the sausage that I like to use. Both of these items I found at Kroger. Um, Whatever meat, you can pick what you want to use. It's really up to you. Neither of these are a requirement. You can use whatever you like. And I'll have like a list of ingredients, I guess, in the description box. So one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna get some water on that frozen shrimp so that it can get unthawed, obviously, because we don't want to use it frozen for this particular recipe. And as you can see, my kiddos are in the kitchen helping me, but we're gonna get this sausage opened up and get that cut while I have Izzy putting some water in the bowl for the shrimp for me. Um, I do end up having to come back with a knife and make some corrections on these cuts to the sausage because, as you're going to see, I have my 8-year old cutting the sausage for us with her Kid Safe knife. And yeah, there's some challenges. There's some challenges with that, but this is part of teaching them and getting them acclimated to, being able to cook good food for themselves and their families and their friends and whatever else they may want to do. Even if they don't want to do it later, they'll have the skills to at least. So now we're going to get her moved over to the other side of the camera so that I can go over the vegetable chopping with my older daughter, Izzy, who is 11. Um, I very quickly gave up on the Kid Save knife. She's 11 years old. She can handle a real knife, and so that's what we switched her to. So I decided to handle the onion myself since that is a bit more difficult vegetable to cut, just in general, and then add to it the chemical reaction with the eyes. So I decided to do that one myself. You see me cutting up a whole onion, but I'm only going to use about half of it. I just went ahead and cut up the whole thing so that I can use the other part for a different dinner later in the week. So we're gonna get a pan out to start cooking. This clip is sped up, but anyway, this is typically the point where I would make a roux, but I did not feel like it. But that lack of a roux is why I'm calling this a fake gumbo. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and pop the sausage into that hot pan to start getting that cooked. Once that has had a chance to brown a bit, I'm going to go through and add my vegetables. You're going to see some celery that I actually chopped off camera, just a bit, not a lot, but that is going to just add kind of to my flavor base for the entire pot. Before I move forward, I do want to make the point again that much of this footage is going to be sped up for time purposes, but what you are about to see me do now is add a couple of things to my skillet. The first of these things is a garlic paste, and I know, cardinal sin, but the point of this for me is to be a quick dinner, and so yes, we are choosing convenience. The next thing is going to be some Better Than Bouillon, which is just a bouillon paste, which will help take the place of using like chicken stock or I can't think of the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Broth. Chicken broth is the word that I'm looking for. Like you could actually use this to make chicken broth. This is just a quick close-up of that so that you can see what the jar looks like if you wanted to try to find it in your local grocery store. As always, I just found it at Kroger. That's where I do the majority of my grocery shopping. And then I'm also going to show you the garlic paste that I use, the chunky style, so that you really get that good, the good texture of it. I just feel like I feel like it's more flavorful, but who knows? Next up, I'm going to be adding some tomatoes. I like the fire roasted variety. I have no loyalty to any certain brand. I just like the fire roasted tomatoes. So something that's going to help us a lot is the addition of gumbo. I know, again, gumbo is one of those polarizing things, but we like it over here in this house. While that's unthawing, we're going to get some seasonings going, starting with some just regular ground black pepper, then some sea salt. I'm showing you the canister, but it's actually in like a shaker. From there, we're going to add some smoked paprika. That is going to help with the flavor depth that we are missing from having the roux. I'm going to mix in what I've added so far before I get to the next seasoning, which is going to be a bit of cayenne pepper, just a little. I mean, that's going to depend on your family's taste, but I know that my family does not like spicy as much as I do. So we're just gonna we're gonna be reasonable with it before we move on to some thyme and then a bit of sweet basil and some dry roasted garlic. And then you are going to add a bay leaf. But as a note, you need to make sure to remove this from your pot after you are done cooking. You have to just kind of stir it around. You'll be able to find it, but remove it after you're done cooking. It adds depth of flavor, but it is not edible, and you don't want that to accidentally end up in like your kid's plate or something like that. They try to eat it, and then it's just not a very pleasant experience. So make sure that you go through and find it before you serve. Now we're getting the okra added. If I had made this with a roux, I would probably have added like half this amount, but I really like okra. My husband likes okra. The kids don't mind it in gumbo. So yeah, we got that added and we are going to just make sure we get that nice and mixed up. From here, we're going to go ahead and transfer the cooking of this over to our Instant Pot. And what this is going to do is give us an opportunity to mimic hours and hours of simmering on the stove. We're going to add enough water to have just to get our ingredients covered, not too much. Everything in the pot is already cooked and we don't want it overcooked. So we're only going to set this for 10 minutes, just enough to let everything get that good deep pressure cook. Once it has come up to pressure and then that 10 minutes has passed, we're going to turn it off and then flip that little knob up at the top to vent and let the pressure come off. We're gonna take off the top, give it a good stir, and then do you remember those shrimp that we unthawed? Well, it is time to get those added into our pot. Yes, raw. Shrimp cooks very fast, and what you do not want is that in a pressure cooker for too long. So we're gonna put this in here, give it a good stir, put the top back on, and then we are going to cook for another 1 minute. And this time, when you take your top off, you are going to be ready to eat. Off camera, I did cook some rice and I put a little bit of butter and salt in that. And I also chopped up a little tomato and green onion just because I like it as a garnish. So I've got my gumbo in the bowl. I am going to top it with a healthy serving of white rice. I'm going to add my tomato and green onion for a bit of freshness and some added color. And then I can't ever forget my baby some good old Louisiana hot sauce. And I am going to drown it.
I gotta go so I can eat.
So there you guys have it. You have officially been walked through the making of my fake gumbo. Wish I had better measurements, I guess, on cooking times and seasonings and all of that, but I really just be winging it, y'all. Um, Obviously, a lot of this video has been sped up, but in terms of active cooking time, I would say maybe 10 minutes of active cooking time, and then the majority of the time was getting the Instant Pot up to pressure and all of that. So this is honestly a quick weeknight meal. That's what I set out to do. That's how I did it. Definitely, again, like I said, not too much active, engaged cooking time. So if you guys decide to try it, put your own spin on it, anything like that, just let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.